Talk now to Anita Mendiratta, the independent aviation and tourism expert. Anita, lovely to see you. Welcome to the programme. Well, I guess I know what the answer is. We all know what the answer is. But how serious are the challenges Boeing now faces after these dismal results?
Indeed, and thank you for having me. The challenges are absolutely serious, but importantly and for context, they're serious for Boeing and they're serious for global aviation as well, because ultimately global aviation is fundamental to trade, to travel, to security, and Boeing, being part of a duopoly, represents 4 out of 10 commercial aircraft that we see in the sky. So it's very critical that these challenges be overcome, not only for Boeing's sake, but for global aviation's sake.
You're saying it's too big to fail. I mean, Airbus and the China manufacturers of planes will be rubbing their hands, surely. Indeed, that a term too big to fail has come up several times. However, failing is not an impossibility because the fact remains it's a commercial operation. But even whether it's Airbus, COMAC coming through on the Chinese side, the production of aircraft is a fundamentally complex process. So it takes time. Even if orders were to shift from Boeing to Airbus, Airbus still wouldn't be able to deliver until about 2028, 2030. Likewise on the COMAC side, because they still need to go through approvals for international sales and deliveries. So it's not an immediate repurchasing and ultimately going shopping for new aircraft. This is a critical process that takes time, and the only way to get global aviation strong again in a post-pandemic world is to rebuild the strength of Boeing. Here's something else that needs rebuilding: trust. How does Boeing rebuild trust among its workers, its passengers and its shareholders? Planes have been falling out of the sky around the world. We've seen bits of Boeing's fall off. How do you fix trust and fix it quickly?
Indeed. It's funny because trust is very much not a finished product that can be delivered with a timeline. It's a process, and this is part of why when Kelly Ortberg, the new CEO of Boeing, says there's a fundamental change needed in the culture of Boeing, it's exactly as you say. It's with the workforce, it's with the flying public, it's with the regulator, it's with the customers, it's with the entire aviation ecosystem. And this is going to take time, and it's going to take showing up. And this is where we need to look at the CEO as a unique individual who came out of retirement. He used to be on the supply chain side, so he went into Boeing with his eyes open of exactly what the challenges were that he faced. And he started working from day one with the workforce, with the regulators, with customers to rebuild that trust. Because trust is not something you could put through in a policy or on a poster. It's about him showing up and owning the challenges, recognizing that he inherited these challenges, but he is committed to making it work for Boeing in terms of rebuilding the future with the people of Boeing and the entire external ecosystem as well. This is very bold and very brave, and again, one can only hope that it's achievable because we need those aircraft safely back in the skies again.
How does Boeing balance its cash flow and its debt?
It's going to come ultimately back to deliveries. And this is where the amount of aircraft, 5,400 that are backlogged, and the amount of debt, that is only going to be able to be buffered by the production of aircraft and getting them back into the supply chain. It's going to take us several weeks to turn the supply chain on again. It's much easier to turn off than it is on. But once we get that rhythm moving again, we can get production going. But that's why tonight's strike vote is so critical. And again, not only all of Boeing, but all of global aviation are desperately hoping that the vote goes through successfully and Boeing can put people back on the workforce lines with pride and with commitment to excellence in terms of safety and quality management.
Anita, good to see you. Thanks for coming on the programme.
Thank you so much.
Anita Mendiratta, the independent aviation and tourism expert.